I was just so excited how the community stepped up. She needed the bond. She needed the extra love and attention. She needed that.
Serenity's mom, Miranda, says more than $1,600 was raised to buy the new dog and get him trained. She says they'll send Duke, that's his name, to classes starting this week so he can pick up when Serenity is about to have a seizure.
Let the love of the Lord rise among us. Let's read of the Lord. Let the Lord let it rise among us.
Beautiful. Family and friends of Harding University graduate Botham Jean gathered in St. Lucia, Dallas, Texas, and at Harding in Searcy in a day of remembrance. Sunday marked 2 years since John was killed, shot by a Dallas police officer inside his apartment. At Harding, the Black Student Association vocal group, who you heard from there, performed and speeches were given too. The university announced new diversity services in an attempt to unify campus. The song Let It Rise, which you just heard, was the final song John led at his church in Texas before his death. There's a big push to honor his life and legacy in Dallas, Texas by renaming Lamar Street after him. Now community leaders and John's mother are throwing support behind the idea. The issue went up before the City Plan Commission on Thursday. That stretch of road includes the Dallas Police Headquarters and South Side on Lamar is where the apartments where John lived.
In addition to the police officers have to drive that street, the address on which the police department sits would now be called Beaufort Boulevard.
If approved in committee hearing, full council in December. 4:37 is our time. It's going to be a warm but dry Labor Day, Pat.
Yeah, no rain in our forecast today here on this Labor Day. We had Saturday and Sunday dry days. Today is our third dry day in a row, so that dry weather that a lot of us been wanting, we're crying for last week, it's here. It's going to be a pleasant morning, 8 o'clock, 70 degrees, getting warm and sunny by noon, 86 degrees, and at 4 o'clock this afternoon, 92. So, yes, it's going to be a hot afternoon. All right, look at this picture here. Tanya Spears emailed me this Saturday. Look at the deer, a mother fawn and 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, a mother doe with about 4 different fawns there with her too. Great looking shot there in her backyard of all places too, just kind of roaming on through there in Jessieville. All right, here our Dash Heating and Cooling Tower Cam with a clear sky, and currently in Little Rock it is 68 degrees with a southwest wind at 3. We'll have a south wind around 5 to 10 today. 68 up in Conway, 66 in Benton. The Air Force Base also reporting 66. It is 64 in Searcy, Batesville 70, Pine Bluff 67, and Hot Springs 70, and Russellville at 68. Now yesterday morning is a little cooler than this morning. We had lows in the mid 60s here in Central Arkansas, lower 60s in East Arkansas, and Saturday morning was not as cool as that, but we started getting those 60s. So Saturday morning was cool, Sunday morning cooler, this morning starting to back up to be warmer again, so we're back on our stretch towards some hot weather. Reminder, we still have 2.5 hours left till 6 a.m. That's an hour and a half for the Socket Forward, sponsored by the Red River Auto Group. The Rescued is my favorite breed socks, benefiting the Russellville Animal Control Shelter, so we're up to $60 there in the last bidding. All right, clear sky out there. There is a cool front. Unfortunately, though, it does not look like it's going to swing through anytime soon. It's going to get parked. We'll explain why it's getting parked coming up in a few more minutes from now. 92 degrees today in Little Rock tonight. Clear sky down to 69. Mandy? Or I'll do this. I'll do it. Coming up after the break, Picture Nation.
KARK4 News is sponsored by Arkansas Select Buick GMC dealers.
Labor Day sale going on now at Family Leisure.
Buy now and save. Patio furniture up to 60% off. Closeout prices on in-stock swing sets. Melt away stress. Great deals on all spas and swim spas. Labor Day sale going on now at Family Leisure, but you better hurry.
I'm Leah, and that's me. Long before I had moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis, I've always been the ringleader, had a zest for life. Flash forward, then RA kept me from the important things. And what my doctor said surprised me. She said my joint pain could mean permanent joint damage. And Enbrel helps relieve joint pain and helps stop that joint damage. Ask about Enbrel so you can get back to being your true self.
Enbrel may lower your ability to fight infections. Serious, sometimes fatal events, including infections, tuberculosis, lymphoma, other cancers, nervous system and blood disorders, and allergic reactions have occurred. Tell your doctor if you've been someplace where fungal infections are common, or if you're prone to infections, have cuts or sores, have had hepatitis B, have been treated for heart failure, or if you have persistent fever, for over 20 years.
Colgate Optic White Renewal removes 10 years of yellow stains. That's like all the way back to 2010.
Their jeans, their leggings, their jeggings.
Whoa. Remove 10 years of yellow stains with Colgate Optic White Renewal.
80% of bacteria in your mouth aren't even on teeth.
80%?
Colgate Total is different. It fights bacteria in your whole mouth, protecting 100% of your mouth surfaces. Colgate Total, antibacterial protection for a healthier mouth.
Why O-Cedar? Because when I get home, we like to play crocodile on the floor. O-Cedar Easy Ring removes over 99% of bacteria, even with just water. Easy and truly clean floors. O-Cedar, it feels great to feel at home.
I got your back, you got mine. Think about you all the time. Together we can come through. That's what love's made of. When it's made with love, it's made to be shared.
It's our huge Labor Day sale at Family Leisure.
Pool tables from $14.99. Shuffleboard tables up to half off. Theater seating and massage chairs are priced to move. Check out our huge selection of bars and bar stools. Great deals on all remaining patio furniture, swing sets, and more.
Now, from Fayetteville, high on the hill, this is your Big Trail Nation Report, powered by your Arkansas Select Buick GMC dealers.
Welcome into your morning Big Trail Nation Report. Alyssa Orange joined by Mike Irwin. And Mike, we just wrapped up the second scrimmage of fall camp for Arkansas football. Let's talk a little bit about the offense.
You know, Alyssa, ever since full-scale workouts started, we've mostly heard good news about the quarterbacks, especially Felipe Franks. And that's been good news for the fans who have been shell-shocked by the quarterback problems of the past 2 seasons. But you had to know it was going to happen sooner or later. The quarterback's hitting some speed bumps. Sam Pittman wasn't specific about which quarterback did what, but there were 3 picks in last Friday's scrimmage and a lot of other problems. So after a dominating effort in the first scrimmage, things went backwards in the second one, and Pittman did not sugarcoat his feelings.
Not good. I mean, we didn't look good today. We didn't make good decisions. We have to get better there. We have to play with more confidence. We have to protect them better. But from a week ago to this week, it just it was not acceptable play by that position, and they know it, and certainly we'll get better.
Yeah, you know, Mike, I'm wondering, when you look and hear what Sam Pittman said, do you worry at all about the offense going backwards instead of forwards, or do you chalk it up to just them having an off?
Well, I think he's concerned about it, but I think he basically said, you know, considering that they dominated the first scrimmage, he would have been much more concerned if the defense had 2 bad scrimmages in a row. So what you do is you just come back and you work on the offense this week and say, hey, you were embarrassed, you better get your act together.
Yeah, they got about 3 more weeks till game time. Of course, we won't hear from anybody today, but we will hear from this man later on. Ask Mike coming up tonight, so make sure to stick around for that. For Mike Irwin, I'm Alyssa Orange, and that's going to do it for your Big Trail Nation Report. Have a good Monday, everybody.
As a nation, what we believe in, is inspired by what we know. At News Nation, we are fueled by facts, not opinions. A national newscast in primetime 7 nights a week. Our mission, to keep you in the know from every corner of the nation. Your mission, decide what you think and believe about it all. News Nation, every night at 8/7 Central on WGN America. Your news, your nation.
We take care of disasters. Many people know our name, but aren't exactly sure what we do. Let's clarify.
Water damage! Smoke damage!
Natural disasters!
Mold removal?
You didn't plan on a disaster, but you have a choice on who restores it. Choose the best. Tell your insurance provider you choose. All Clean USA. Yeah, we take care of that, too.
Hi, I'm Katie Pazdera, Executive Director for Fox Ridge Assisted Living Chenal. Fox Ridge has served the Central Arkansas community for over 13 years with our 3 convenient locations in Bryant, Chenal, and North Little Rock. When the COVID-19 pandemic began, we immediately implemented best practices based on our most current CDC and Department of Health guidelines to protect our residents and staff. Fox Ridge implemented visitor restrictions in order to diminish the risk of the spread and protect our current Fox Ridge family and our prospective residents as well. We understand the importance of socialization for our residents. They are entertained in a variety of creative ways that maintain their safety, including virtual visits with family members. Fox Ridge takes pride in providing the safest and most comfortable living experience in Central Arkansas. We continue to maintain our standards to provide the best care for your loved ones. Visit us online or call to schedule your virtual tour today.
This is the new Ergo Smart Base from Tempur-Pedic, and it responds to snoring automatically. So no more nudging your partner or opting for the couch. Because the Tempur Ergo Smart Base is our first system that detects snoring and automatically adjusts to help reduce it. Your best sleep, all night, every night.
And for a limited time, shop Tempur-Pedic at Denver Mattress and save up to $500 on select mattress sets. Denver Mattress, the easiest way to get the right Tempur-Pedic.
Welcome back. 4:47 our time. Some hot weather started settling in yesterday. A lot of us hit 90 degrees. Fort Smith, Clinton, Little Rock hit 90. Searcy, Stuttgart, Monticello hit 91. Camden hit 93 degrees yesterday and today here on Labor Day. If you're going to do some grilling, count on it being hot outside and around that grill too. Around lunchtime, around noon, warm and sunny, 86. Keep heating up by 2 o'clock, 90 degrees. If you're going to be grilling late, it'll still be hot at 5 o'clock, 91. But it'll probably by 7 o'clock tonight. If you're going to grill real late, 7 o'clock, it'll probably be back down in the 80s by then. All right, a clear sky this morning. We've had a couple of clouds moving on through, especially in northeast Arkansas. But all in all, quiet, high pressure still in control. But the high is now over North Georgia and western North Carolina. That gives us a south wind. South wind, sunshine in early September. Yeah, you're going to see 90 degrees. There is this cool front coming through, but I've got to tell you that cool front is not going to get here anytime soon. Even though it's in northern Missouri, it's not going to get here anytime soon. All right, so maybe tomorrow we see a little isolated shower in west Arkansas. Notice that cool front, though. Starts dipping down toward the south in the plains. Big upper level low coming into the Rocky Mountains. Going to be a snow producer in Wyoming, Colorado, maybe even western Nebraska. Get snow. I mean, this has some cold air into it. But you know what? Same time tomorrow, an upper level high is going to be building up from the Gulf of Mexico, and it's going to block that cool front, the leading edge of that cold air, and it's going to block that upper level low. So the upper level low will get cut off for a few days, sitting over the Rockies. We're going to see a southwesterly flow. So by Wednesday, we start having a chance of rain here in central Arkansas, but it'll be very warm. It'll be humid with our rain chances for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week. Over the weekend, this low will finally be allowed to come through, but it's going to go this way, up across the Midwest. So the cool air probably never really gets, we never really get a good hit of that cold air. So we're going to stay kind of warm, I think, for much of the week. 92 our high temperature today. Tomorrow, 91. We'll be down in the 80s for highs Wednesday and then for the rest of the week. But mid to upper 80s with decent rain chances. The highest rain chance is on Thursday. All right, that's your forecast. Mandy?
Well, if you're still working from home, you may be missing the camaraderie and the connections that come with the office environment. But working remotely doesn't have to mean you miss out on networking. NBC's Susan McGinnis tells us how professionals are networking from their couch.
When the coronavirus pandemic forced employees across the nation to work from home, millions were left without an essential component of professional life, networking.
There's this new era of work from home, and professionals are more disconnected than ever before.
Forced to get creative, they're turning to virtual networking platforms like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and Fishbowl, a social network app that connects professionals to chat, ask questions, and network for jobs. Lauren Appen is co-founder.
Zoom is the new meeting room. Fishbowl is the new office hallway.
I posted on Fishbowl, and I went specifically into the Women in Advertising Bowl.
Users interact directly with peers and company leadership in groups called bowls. Kara Goncher, an early user, landed a job there.
I said, would someone be willing to pass along my creative portfolio to the recruiter there. And some really kind stranger volunteered, and later that week I got an interview, and then later on the job.
With an estimated 85% of jobs filled by some form of networking, experts say it's a critical tool.
Networking, whether in person or COVID times virtually, is a necessity.
People come to Fishbowl to connect with others in their industry or company, to have real conversations and be candid.
Making connections at a much-needed time. Susan McGinnis, NBC News.
People are expecting the work-from-home culture to outlast the pandemic, and now experts say that remote networking is a skill all professionals should have and use. In a Sunday tweet, President Trump said the U.S. Department of Education will be investigating whether the California schools are using the New York Times 1619 project. The president is threatening to take education money away from California schools if they are. The Pulitzer Prize-winning collection frames American history around the date of August 1619, when the first slave ship arrived on America's shores. The message follows the president's order Friday that bans federal agencies from conducting racial sensitivity training related to, quote, white privilege and critical race theory. The Washington Post is reporting that the U.S. Postmaster General Louis DeJoy gave bonuses to employees who made GOP contributions. The allegation surrounds his time running a company called New Breed Logistics. Reimbursing political contributions is illegal. In congressional testimony last month, DeJoy denied repaying executives for donating to the Trump campaign. In the second hour of KARK4 today, we'll talk more about the shooting at the River Market District over the weekend. Then at 5:30, we'll have a look at your comments on our big question of the day.
Take off in a new Nissan before summer ends. Don't miss the Nissan Bottom Line sales event.
At DDS Dentures and Implant Solutions, our mission is to delight our patients.
We've taken additional steps to ensure a safe, clean environment,
so you can show the world your beautiful smile.
DDS Dentures and Implant Solutions.
We look forward to delighting you.
Sold it, sold it, sold it.
Attention Greers Ferry Lake home buyers and investors. Diamond Bluff Absolute Real Estate Auction, Thursday, September 10th at 11 a.m. in Quitman, Arkansas, with a stunning 9,927 square foot home with panoramic views of Greers Ferry Lake on 27 private acres, 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, decks, and a wine cellar. This property is selling regardless of price. Go to WilsonAuctioneers.com.
Sold it, sold it, sold it.
Catfish farming has always been a passion for me. I was raised up on the catfish farm. I was born into it. But the only thing I love more than catfish farming is my children and my family. I'm Will Noble from Morehead, Mississippi, and I'm proud to be the 2020 Mississippi Catfish Farmer of the Year. People all across America love to eat U.S. farm-raised catfish, and I'm proud to be able to produce it right here in the Mississippi Delta.
Is skincare from around the world better than Olay? Olay Regenerist faced 131 premium products from 12 countries over 10 years. Olay's hydration was unbeaten every time. Face anything. Find out more at Olay.com.
Anything your wild child does, Pampers Cruisers 360 Fit can too. With a stretchy waistband and adaptive 360 Fit. So they can move the way they were born to. Pampers Cruisers 360 Fit.
If you witness someone overdosing, don't run. Call 911. You won't get in trouble, and you can't be arrested for simple possession if you call 911 about an overdose. You're protected by the Arkansas Joshua Ashley Pauley 911 Good Samaritan Law. The law provides immunity from arrest, charge, and prosecution for simple possession for those who seek medical assistance for others who are overdosing. Be a Good Samaritan. Download the Arkansas app for life-saving information and resources, including how to save a life with naloxone.
At DDS Dentures and Implant Solutions, our mission is to delight our patients.
We've taken additional steps to ensure a safe, clean environment,
so you can show the world your beautiful smile.
DDS Dentures and Implant Solutions.
We look forward to delighting you.
4:55 our time. Air quality forecast today is going to be in the good range. Our Crane Team weather back number, a 1 today. Tonight 0, tomorrow 1. I'm just giving it that number 1 for just kind of the heat that's going to be here. Clear sky this morning on the Dash Heating and Cooling Tower cam. It is 69 now in Little Rock, 69 in Hot Springs, Russellville 67, Pine Bluff 66, and Searcy is at 64. All right, 67 and sunny at 7 o'clock, sunny at noon, 86 degrees, 91 degrees at 5 o'clock this afternoon. Let's keep our eyes on the tropics. We are still in September. It is the peak of tropical season. We do have tropical depression 17 here in the central Atlantic Ocean, maximum winds of 35 miles per hour. Forecasted to become a tropical storm maybe today. If it does, it would be Paulette, and maintaining itself basically as a tropical storm for the rest of the week. At least that's the forecast. And also, tropical depression 18, same winds, 35 miles per hour, may become a tropical storm as well today. It's really barely off the coast of Africa now, so it's got a long ways to go before it could impact the U.S., if it even gets here. All right, plenty of sunshine for the day. High pressures over the southeast. Cool front's on its way, but as we talked about just a few minutes ago, a big ridge of high pressure is going to build in. It's going to block that front. So we will have some rain later this week, but it'll be a warm, muggy rain. Not talking about cool weather just yet. 92, hot and sunny today. Tomorrow, 91, mostly sunny. And then rain chances start up Wednesday for central Arkansas. Maybe an isolated shower tomorrow in west Arkansas, but our highest rain chance this week will come on Thursday. By the way, this weekend was a great weekend, right? Finally some dry weather. Mandy Noel got to walk through some history at the Louisiana Purchase State Park. How was that?
It was beautiful. It's a really short walk.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah, and it's on an elevated platform, and you can see it's in the middle of a swamp.
It's in the swamp, right.
Just beautiful to walk through.
But take your bug spray, right?
Take your bug spray.
There
I was eaten alive, as was my dog, Rocky.
Oh,
Learn from me. An extreme athlete in Austria broke his own world record of spending more than 2.5 hours submerged in ice.
Yeah, Josef Korbel wore nothing but swim trunks as he climbed inside a custom-made cabinet filled with ice cubes. Why? I don't know. He beat his previous record by over 20 minutes. When it was over, he said he was just happy to feel the sun on his back, you think? And he recovered from his ice bath by eating an ice cream cone.
Man, that sounds rough.
Which actually
is a good way because it's less cold than what you were.
Yeah,
so it's probably still warm.
By eating, you have to exercise. Your body will actually warm up.
That's true. And I bet it was nice. Austria is a cold country, so I'm sure he's used to the cold, but that's excessive.
He's probably hardy.
You ever sat in an ice bath before?
Briefly, when I had a fever.
Yeah, I've had to do it for injuries, sports injuries.
And it was cold. I got out
and then you go numb.
I feel fine. Fever's gone.
But still, I wouldn't want to do that.
Nope.
Okay, we'll be right back. Labor Day sale going on now at Family Leisure.
Buy now and save. Patio furniture up to 60% off. Closeout prices on in-stock swing sets. Melt away stress. Great deals on all spas and swim spas. Labor Day sale going on now at Family Leisure. But you better hurry.
I just started having back problems, and it got to where it just hurt more and more every day. It got to the point to where I couldn't even hardly work or anything. I couldn't sit. I couldn't stand or anything. So, of course, I went to my doctor, and they sent me to a physical therapy. I tried to do that for a while. Didn't help at all. And then that's when I just finally, me and the wife have seen Dr. Curry's TV show several times. And I was like, you know, I ought to just try that Dr. Curry. I mean, what's it going to hurt? We done tried everything else. So I gave him a call and went up to see him. And he really changed my life big time. He really did. I mean, I filed for disability and everything. I thought I was done. I feel good and strong. I pick up stuff. I feel great. I'm a new man. And my family sees it too. My wife said I've done more in the last 2 months around here than I've done in 2 years. And it's not bothering me at all. I do not hurt at all. It is all true. I've done everything I could, and nothing has helped until I seen Dr. Curry.
Hey folks, it's Joey and Ryan here at Red River Dodge Chrysler Jeep in Heber Springs. There's a lot of reasons that makes us the #1 Ram Dodge Chrysler Jeep store.
That's right, Joey. We want to give you a few more reasons why you need to make that beautiful drive.
Like this truck right here, Motor Trend Truck of the Year, 2 years in a row.
Like this Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most award-winning SUV ever.
So for all your new Ram Dodge Chrysler Jeep products, make that beautiful drive to Heber Springs during Ram Power Days.
At Red River, we deliver. God bless, and God bless America.
It's our huge Labor Day sale at Family Leisure.
Pool tables from $14.99. Shuffleboard tables up to half off. Theater seating and massage chairs are priced to move. Check out our huge selection of bars and bar stools. Great deals on all remaining patio furniture, swing sets, and more.
Now, from the station you count on for local news that matters, this is KARK 4 Today.
Happy Labor Day, Monday. Good morning. Welcome to KARK 4 Today. I'm Andy Knoll.
And I'm meteorologist Pat Walker.
Did you have a good weekend?
Pretty nice weekend. Finally, to get some sunshine in. Wasn't that great?
Yep, it sure was. And yeah, here we are celebrating Labor Day.
Laboring.
But you know what? I'm glad.
I did my laboring yesterday, too, out in the yard. Did a lot of yard work, mowed the grass. Didn't want to, but started like right around 2:30, 3 o'clock out there in the sun.
That's your favorite chore, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't like to do it when it's so
really
sunny.
A chore?
It's my favorite chore, but not when it's sunny and 90 degrees.
Yeah, it was hot yesterday.
Yeah, I wore my hat, my straw hat.
Did you? Oh, wait, I think I've seen a picture of that.
Yeah.
You're buffer than you look.
I got it. Oh, yeah.
I'll have to get that picture pulled up.
Absolutely.
All right, weather.
Coming up.
I saw the silhouette of a gentleman with a pistol in his hand, squeeze off around 8 to 10 rounds.
One man came to the rescue after a shooting left 4 people injured in Little Rock's River Market late Saturday night. Police still haven't found the shooter who opened fire into the crowd. Hunter Hoagland was on the scene, though, and has more.
It's the Sunday morning leftovers.
There's blood, windows blown out. I think I see a couple of rounds into some of these walls.
Coming from a chaotic Saturday night.
8 to 9 rounds were squeezed off for sure. A lot of screaming.
The crime tape, the shell casings, the memories are what's left at Riverfront Park after a shooter opened fire into a crowd at the pavilion.
The firing came from right over there, this direction, and there was a huge crowd.
Police say 4 people were shot, one of them just 12 years old.
The wolves hidden in the sheep, and the sheepdogs have to protect the sheep.
In this case, the sheepdog, Justin West, a former Marine.
Kills me to know that I've deployed, and this is happening in Little Rock.
West was eating around the corner when he heard gunfire drowned out by screams. And what many call bravery, he calls instinct.
I showed up on the scene, stripped my shirt off, put it straight on his shoulder. He was very scared, and I'm 28 now, looking at a 22-year-old male who's scared for his life, trying to talk to him. My words not getting to him. It was rough.
Police say that 22-year-old and the 3 other victims are all expected to be okay. And as crowds return to the River Market, they're just thankful there's more sheepdogs than there are wolves.
I'm just thankful that I can help. That's all I really wanted to do was help. That's why I joined the Marine Corps, was to help.
That was Hunter Hoagland reporting. Police are still going through evidence, but they've not found the shooter yet. If you know anything that can help investigators, call Little Rock Police. You can find the number inside the story on our website, KARK.com. A car crashed around 4 Saturday morning on I-630, left 1 man dead. Police say a Chevrolet Tahoe driven by 26-year-old Gregory Dorn went off the road, flipped, and came to rest on Park Street. The cause of the crash is under investigation. Deputies are looking for a man wanted on several charges, including second-degree battery. Authorities say Marvin Skinner is about 6'5". His last known address was on Highway 113 in Bigelow. Investigators say he may be armed and dangerous. If you know where he may be, call the Crime Stoppers tip line. There's a reward of up to $1,000 that may be available for information that leads to an arrest. There's a new push to lower the rising suicide rates among veterans. Those numbers have gone up statewide during the pandemic. Andrew Epperson explains one lawmaker's solution.
We've had an increase in crisis line calls since COVID began.
Dr. Aaron Carson is the Fayetteville VA's mental health chief, and he's seen a spike in veteran suicides during the pandemic.
Those issues can translate into exacerbation of mental health issues, and so we have seen an uptick in those.
Job loss, isolation, fear, the same issues affecting many of us are also slamming Arkansas vets.
Around a 20 to 25% increase in crisis line calls. So significant.
Suicide rates and suicide attempts have went up, and other veterans issues are deeply affecting the people who served us overseas.
State Senator Trent Garner wrote this letter to the CARES Act Steering Committee requesting $50 million to address veterans' issues related to the pandemic.
Most of it go to the Department of Veteran Affairs so that they could give grants to nonprofits. The other way it would do is allow local clinics to do more services. Next, it would give money to the VSOs. That's the Veteran Service Officers that every county in the state has. I would imagine every clinic like that would have some additional services.
Carson and the Fayetteville VA can't comment on possible pending legislation, but he says people need to reach out to vets during this crazy time.
See how they're doing, and if you have any suspicion or if they say that they are struggling, then direct them to the VA.
That was Andrew Epperson reporting. Staying on the subject of mental health, behavioral therapists are talking about sending kids back to in-person classes, saying there are benefits to traditional education. Health professionals are reminding parents that humans have a need for connection, community, and bonding. They say some kids learn better in a traditional setting where they can interact with their teachers and their peers. Although Zoom calls and social media help, therapists say there's still a disconnect.
Think of it as like, you know, maybe pre-COVID, a virtual hug versus a hug in person. So virtual hug is, you know, it's great to get, but the physical hug is going to be that much more connecting and maybe take on a completely different connotation.
If your child's learning from home and you notice a difference in their performance, like a drop in grades, that could be a sign they need a different learning environment. 5:05 is our time. Let's get this Labor Day forecast started.
Yeah, let's get it started. It's going to be a beautiful day. It's going to be plenty of sunshine. It will be a hot Labor Day for sure. Hopefully, you're going to have your day off for today. All right, by 8 o'clock this morning, we're going to be out of the 60s up to 70 degrees, 86 at noon, then 92 at 4 o'clock this afternoon. But here this morning on the Dash Heating and Cooling Tower Cam, we do have a clear sky. It is currently 69 degrees in Little Rock. It is 65 in Jacksonville. Conway and Benton are both at 68 degrees. 70s out in far west Arkansas, mid to upper 60s in the eastern half of the state. Pine Bluff is at 66. Now, yesterday morning was cooler here in Little Rock and cooler for much of central and east Arkansas. 65 was our low yesterday morning, which is cooler than what this morning will ever get. 61 yesterday morning in Pine Bluff and in Searcy. Now, Saturday morning, we started getting those 60s. So Saturday morning, we cooled off a little bit. Yesterday morning, cooled off more. Now, this morning, we're on our way back up. So we're starting to see a little bit of warmer weather. Don't forget Socket Forward, brought to you by the Red River Auto Group. My Rescue is my favorite breed socks, benefiting the Russellville Animal Shelter. That goes for another hour. The last bid I checked was up to $60. So you still have some time to bid. Or if you want to make just one big generous donation, $150 ends the auction, and you get the socks. And, of course, Russellville Animal Shelter will get $150 out of that. All right, a cool front's trying to come on down here, but guess what? It's going to have a hard time. We will have something to block it this week. That still means we have some rain in the forecast, but the big cool down, I just don't think it's going to happen this week. 92 and sunny today. Tonight will be clear, down with a low of 69 degrees. I'll talk about what's going to block that cold front from actually getting here immediately coming up at our next forecast. Mandy?
Thanks, Pat. Next on KARK4 today, we'll have a look at your comments on our big question of the day. Here's what we're asking. What are your favorite foods at a cookout? Head over to Facebook and join the conversation.
KARK4 News is sponsored by the University of Arkansas Online.
Central Arkansas Mahindra, the #1 Mahindra dealer in the South, and there's a reason for that. We're the king of package deals. Light trailer packages starting as low as $15.9, now with 2 locations. Central Arkansas Mahindra, the official tractor of tough.
I was a teacher for 30 years, and much of what I know about Arkansas, I learned from my students. You came to class from every background. You introduced me to your families, inspired me to fight for pre-K, teacher pay, and investment in public schools. I'm Joyce Elliott, and I approve this message because education should be a national priority too. So class, we're going to Congress.
Grab your coat and let's start a war. Come on.
During the Today's the Day sales event, get $2,000 customer cash, or qualified buyers get 1.9% APR financing for 60 months on a new 2020 Highlander Hybrid. Toyota, let's go places.
Labor Day sale going on now at Family Leisure.
Enjoy a relaxing evening outside. Patio furniture up to 60% off. Great deals on floor model patio sets, closeouts, and more. Reduced prices on in-stock swing sets, including display models. Soothe aching muscles. Unbelievable deals on all spas and swim spas. Huge discounts on in-stock grills, barbecue islands, and accessories. Curbside pickup, doorstep delivery, and no contact installation available.
Labor Day sale going on now at Family Leisure, but you better hurry.
Celebrate with jewelry from J. Oliver's Jewelry Studio. We can now design your jewelry right before your eyes. Why buy the ordinary when J. Oliver's can create the extraordinary? Take something old and remake it new again. J. Oliver's, your full-service custom jewelry studio.
Hi, I'm Carrie McCoy.
owner of theflagandbanner.com. Whether you're a fan of a Patriot or a Patriots fan, we have all your flag needs covered at theflagandbanner.com. 800 West 9th Street in downtown Little Rock. Showroom open Monday through Saturday.
Central Arkansas Mahindra, the #1 Mahindra dealer in the South, and there's a reason for that. We're the king of package deals. And with locations in Little Rock and now in Bryant, the deals are even better. Central Arkansas Mahindra, the official tractor of tough.
Welcome back. Of course, it is Labor Day, which means many of us will be barbecuing. Feel free to invite us over.
Yes,
we love to eat. And the website, The Daily Meal, has put together a list of the most searched for grilling recipes in each state.
Well, many states looked up grilled chicken, while some searched for salmon or zucchini. And here at home, guess what? Our most searched grilled food in Arkansas was asparagus.
Really?
I love grilled asparagus.
I am surprised. You know what? I've done that since I moved here. I was
Really?
going to wrap it in bacon wrapped asparagus.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, next time you do, invite me over.
Okay, maybe later.
I love grilled pork chops. My dad, when I was back home in Georgia last week, made me some, and it's like my favorite food, and they were so good.
I've never had grilled pork chops,
Really?
but that sounds really tasty.
And I'll need him to teach me next time, then I can help teach you.
Yes.
I'll cook for you. You make
love
the
that
asparagus
plan.
for me, I'll cook grilled pork chops for you.
That sounds fair. But I'm getting a better deal out of that, probably.
No, of course not.
For our Facebook trending this morning, speaking of food, we're asking if you could go back in time. Oh, no, this is not along the same
maybe
lines.
some people want to go
This
back
was
and eat last night's meal.
Yeah, go back and eat last night. You can go back in time. So we're asking, what historical event would you like to witness if you could go back in time? Let's pull up some of those answers if we can here, guys. Where would you go, Kristen?
I don't know. I know you guys talked about this during the 4 o'clock, but there's so many events, I feel like.
I feel like Woodstock would be really fun.
I was going to say Woodstock would
Would be
probably
pretty
be
awesome.
really fun. What else?
It would be really fun to be at like the women's rights rallies back in the day.
Some of the,
Get
the
to see
really
that.
good historical stuff, yeah.
Important stuff. Oh, here, we've got some answers. When women got the right to vote. That's what Wendy
The
says.
end of World War
Perfect.
II.
The end of, yeah.
You know, I'm reading a lot of historical fiction books lately, and I feel like it'd be interesting to go back to that place.
I definitely agree. Can you just imagine, like, the excitement and the morale? Like, it's finally
And the
over.
sigh of relief.
Absolutely. So, me giving myself winning lottery numbers. Good one, Chris. Yeah. These people here that this Bible, I'm not sure what that says. We're going to skip that.
It's a little sass going on in the comments.
Resurrection of Jesus, resurrection of Christ. Yeah, those are great. Very cool. That's a long time ago, too. Continuing
Now back to food.
Now back to food. For our big question of the day today, we're asking, what are your favorite foods at a cookout? Oh, where to begin? Okay, so what are people saying?